in my book, I do describe these videos. I don't really hold back because I want people to know what actually was taking place, what these victims were going through on this site. And one of the things that victims have shared that I think is also really important to know is that when those videos are uploaded, they had a download button so that anybody in the world could actually download and possess that child abuse, the rape, all of that on their devices, and then re-upload it again and again and again and again. And so victims actually call this the immortalization of their trauma. So they say, it's one thing to be raped, but then it's filmed and then it's uploaded and then it's monetized for profit and pleasure, and people are actually getting pleasure out of the worst moment of my life. And it'll never go away because once it's on the internet, it's out of control. And it's just like this whack-a-mole game where they're constantly just trying to find it and then beg for it to come down. And then even if they can, it just gets uploaded again. And one victim said, my abuser put me in a mental prison, but Pornhub gave me a life sentence.
Wow.
And that was really powerful. But
and were all these like foreign? Were they domestic? It was everywhere?
It was everywhere. So here's one story that I'll share with you. Serena Fleitas. So Serena Fleitas, she's from Bakersfield, California. She was an innocent 13-year-old girl, and she had a crush on a boy a year older than her. So she, at the time, she'd never kissed a boy before. She was a straight-A student. And he convinced her to send him some nude images and videos of herself, which she did because she wanted to impress him, right? This is like very common today, sexting, all that. And then he shared it with classmates. And then the classmates uploaded it to Pornhub, where it began to get millions and millions of views. So she would then reach out to Pornhub and beg for them to take the videos down, and they would often ignore her.
And she's an adolescent.
Yes, she's a child. Like, she's a young teen, right? And then if they did answer, they would hassle her. Prove that you're a victim. Prove that you're underage in these videos. Now, remember, nobody had to prove age and consent to upload. But if you want to get it down, she's testifying. She's testified this before Canadian Parliament. She's suing Pornhub right now. That she would be hassled to prove that she's a victim. Then if she did get it down, then it would just get re-uploaded again, right? And so this sent her on a spiral of trauma and despair. She ended up dropping out of school because she was being bullied. She got addicted to drugs to try to numb the pain. She tried to kill herself multiple times. And then she wound up homeless, living out of a car. And that was her story, right? And like that could happen to any young teen.
Yeah, I could imagine that a lot of people in that instance, you almost end up wanting to take your life or consider suicide because your life isn't even yours anymore.
Yeah, because it's like that immortalization of the trauma. It's like, I'll never escape this because, even if I can find healing, I can, do whatever, I can go trauma therapy, but then it's like, it's almost like a wound, and then its scab just gets peeled off again and peeled off again as those videos keep getting uploaded.
It's like hell. It's like something
online.
you would hear about happening in hell.
Yeah. And actually, to your point, the stats on ideations of suicide for victims of this kind of abuse, it's 50% who have suicidal ideations after going through this. And not just child sexual abuse. I mean, that includes, when videos are consensually recorded, but then non-consensually uploaded. And the shame and all of that comes along with that. I mean, this is the stats for victims of this kind of abuse. And so